When we say, take charge of your life, we usually mean something like grab it by the horns, be proactive, take risks, chase your dreams. This advice is great if you're trying to build a business or launch a new project, but what does it mean for our everyday lives? And how do we take charge when faced with difficulties beyond our control? Does the Buddhist view offer some insight here? In this episode, we'll explore what it means to take charge of your life from a Buddhist perspective. I'm a student of Buddhism and someone who is also figuring this out. As always, there will be references to where my research has led me so far. And remember, I am not a teacher, just a fellow student learning right alongside you. Let's start with a little story. Once while walking near a village, the Buddha saw a man plowing his field. He looked at the oxen drawing the plow and said to his disciples, "Do you think this man would get a good harvest if he used a broken plow?" "No, Lord," they replied. The Buddha then said, "Likewise, if someone wants to study the teachings and achieve awakening, it's essential to have a strong mind that can concentrate." That's why in Buddhism, one of the factors for success in meditation is called strong mind or viriya in Pali. And that reminds me of what I learned from my meditation teacher. He once said that meditation is kind of like exercising your arm muscles. If you keep flexing your arms and pushing yourself, your arm muscles will grow stronger. So it is with meditation. If you keep pushing yourself to meditate, even for only a minute or two at a time, eventually your concentration and ability to rest in the present moment will increase. So I want to encourage you to apply this idea of building a strong mind to the topic of taking charge of your life. Like the farmer who uses a strong ox to plow his field, we can use our strong mind to cultivate qualities and actions that will help us to live a good life. Now, let's talk about the Four Noble Truths. They form the heart of the Buddhist teachings and hold the key to understanding how to take charge of our lives. 1. Life is dukkha, suffering or dissatisfaction. The Buddha began his teachings with a stark yet undeniable truth. Life inevitably involves dukkha, suffering, dissatisfaction, stress, and unease. This isn't a pessimistic Buddhist view, but a realistic observation based on universal human experience. Life indeed involves physical pain, emotional distress, and the subtle unease of impermanence. But dukkha encompasses more than just these obvious forms of suffering. It refers to the fundamental dissatisfaction that arises from our craving for things to be other than they are. This leads us to the second truth, which is that the cause of dukkha is craving or attachment, tanha. We crave pleasure, we crave existence, and we even crave non-existence to escape from suffering. This includes attachment to views, possessions, relationships, and even our own sense of self. To take charge of our life, we need to acknowledge and deeply understand these two noble truths. Our dissatisfaction stems from our craving for things to be other than they are. External circumstances aren't the ultimate source of our unhappiness, rather, it's our relationship to them. Number 2. Understanding that life is dukkha and that the cause of this dukkha is craving. This understanding is the first step in taking charge because it shifts our focus from trying to control the world to understanding our own minds. The third truth offers a glimmer of hope. The Buddha teaches that dukkha and the craving that causes it can be overcome. There is a path to liberation. This path is illuminated by the Noble Eightfold Path, which we'll talk about soon. By following this path, we can gradually transform our minds and find deep inner peace and freedom. And finally, the fourth truth states that following the Noble Eightfold Path leads to the cessation of dukkha. This truth gives us the motivation to put the teachings into practice. Knowing that there is a way out of suffering inspires us to walk that path. Now, these four truths aren't just abstract concepts. They are profoundly practical. They guide us on how to take charge of our lives. You might be thinking, okay, I know that life has suffering. You've made that part clear. But how does that help me take charge of my life? Well, when we deeply understand that our suffering comes from our own craving and attachment, not primarily from external events, it changes the way we respond to challenges. For instance, when someone misbehaves towards us, we naturally feel anger, resentment, and a desire for them to apologize or change their behavior. But if we hold on to these feelings, they will only cause us more suffering. However, if we can let go of our anger and resentment, we free ourselves from this cycle of suffering. The same is true for any situation that causes us pain or stress. When we can detach from our cravings in those moments, we become less reactive and more in control of our own emotions and actions. That's why the practice of meditation is so important in Buddhism. It helps us learn how to observe our thoughts and emotions without immediately reacting to them. Meditation makes us more aware of our own minds and trains us to respond to situations in a more skillful way. To sum up, the first step in taking charge of our life is to understand the first and second noble truths. Life has suffering, and the main cause of this suffering is our own craving and attachment. Now, the second truth is the Noble Eightfold Path. Remember that the Buddha taught that there is a way out of suffering. It's not a hopeless situation. And the path to overcoming suffering is the Noble Eightfold Path. It consists of three main categories: wisdom, ethical conduct, and meditation. 1. Wisdom, right understanding and right thought. Right understanding involves seeing things as they truly are, especially the Four Noble Truths. Right thought entails cultivating thoughts free from greed, hatred, and delusion, and instead, fostering thoughts of compassion, kindness, and renunciation. 2. Ethical conduct, right speech, right action, right livelihood. Right speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, helpfully, and harmoniously. Right action includes abstaining from harming, stealing, and sexual misconduct, and engaging in ethical and beneficial actions. Right livelihood emphasizes earning a living in a way that doesn't harm others or contribute to their suffering. 3. Meditation, right effort and right concentration. Right effort involves actively working to prevent unwholesome states from arising, abandoning existing unwholesome states, developing wholesome states, and maintaining existing wholesome states. Right concentration or samadhi is developing focused attention through meditation, leading to deeper states of tranquility and insight. By diligently practicing these 8 factors, we gradually transform our mindset and behavior, reducing suffering and cultivating peace and wisdom. These practices are not just theoretical. They provide a practical framework for how to take charge of our lives in every aspect. From the way we speak and interact with others to the work we do and how we meditate. Each step contributes to our growth and well-being. Let's consider an example. Imagine someone cuts you off while you're driving. In that frustrating moment, you could feel anger and the urge to retaliate. However, if you practice right speech and right action, you'll refrain from yelling or gesticulating and instead choose to let it go, realizing that holding on to anger will only cause you more stress. Similarly, in our daily lives, we constantly face situations that test our ethical conduct and patience. But each time we choose to act in accordance with the Eightfold Path, we are taking charge of our lives. We are actively shaping our character and the quality of our experiences. The idea is to integrate these teachings into our everyday lives, not just follow them occasionally. It's about making a conscious effort to be more aware of our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Taking charge also involves acknowledging and accepting our past actions. We may sometimes try to escape from the present moment by dwelling on the past, regretting our choices. But Buddhism encourages us to confront our past, understand its impact, and take responsibility for our actions. Only then can we move forward with clarity and purpose. The Buddha taught that our actions, whether physical, verbal, or mental, create karma that influences our future. Therefore, taking charge means being mindful of our actions and their consequences, not in a fearful or fatalistic way, but with the understanding that we have the power to shape our future through our present choices. Finally, embracing non-attachment or letting go is crucial. Grasping onto things, whether people, possessions, or even our own sense of self, often causes suffering when those things change or don't meet our expectations. Buddhism teaches us to approach everything in life with a sense of openness and flexibility. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring. It means freeing ourselves from the suffering caused by attachment and allowing things to unfold naturally. In essence, taking charge of your life according to Buddhist principles means cultivating an internal locus of control. It's about recognizing that true power lies in how we manage our minds and responses, not in trying to control the external world. This shift in perspective can be transformative. It allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience, wisdom, and equanimity. Remember, this journey of self-discovery and growth is a personal one. While the Buddhist teachings offer guidance and practices, it's up to each of us to explore, adapt, and integrate these ideas into our own lives in ways that resonate with us. I encourage you to engage in this process, ask questions, and share your insights. Your unique journey might lead you to discover new paths and perspectives that benefit not only yourself but also others. I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day.